I found out my boyfriend has been sneaking out at 3 a.m. every single night for the past 6 weeks. It started with the mattress dip, that specific shift of weight that wakes you up even when you're dead asleep. The first time it happened, I rolled over and saw Jake pulling on his Adidas hoodie in the dark. "Bathroom," he whispered before I could ask. I went back to sleep. The second time was 3 nights later. Same dip, same hoodie. This time I checked the clock. 2:47 a.m. He was gone for 40 minutes. When he came back, he smelled like cold air and said he couldn't sleep, so he went for a drive. By the fourth time, I stopped believing him. I started tracking it. Week 1, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Week 2, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. Week 3, every single night. Always between 2:45 and 3:15 a.m. Always gone for 35 to 50 minutes. I didn't want to be that girlfriend, the one who checks phones and interrogates. But my stomach was in knots every time I heard our bedroom door click shut. So I looked. His phone was password protected now. It hadn't been before. He'd changed it 2 weeks ago. When I asked why, he said his work required it for security. Jake works at a Target. I checked the car mileage. He was driving exactly 8.4 miles each trip. I calculated it based on his odometer over 5 days. Same distance every time. My hands shook writing it down. That's too specific to be random drives. That's a destination. I tried to convince myself I was paranoid, except Jake had also started putting his phone face down on tables. He took calls in the other room. Last Tuesday, someone texted him at dinner and his whole face went white before he turned the phone over and said it was nothing. Thursday night, I pretended to be asleep when the mattress dipped. I waited until I heard his car pull out of the driveway. Then I got dressed, got in my Honda Civic, and followed him. My heart was pounding so hard I thought I might throw up. He drove exactly 8.4 miles. I stayed 3 cars back the whole time. He pulled up to a small house on Maple Street with yellow shutters and a front porch light on. It was 3:02 a.m. He parked, got out, walked right up to the front door. It opened before he even knocked, like someone was waiting for him. I couldn't see who opened it, but Jake went inside. I sat in my car across the street, gripping the steering wheel, trying to breathe. This was it. The proof. He was cheating. I'd been right. I waited 15 minutes. Then I got out and walked up to the house. The living room curtains were thin enough to see through. I looked inside. Jake was sitting on a floral couch next to an elderly woman in a pink nightgown. She was holding his hand. He was crying. She was stroking his hair and saying something I couldn't hear. Then she kissed his forehead, the way a mother does. I stepped back from the window. My throat tightened. That was his mom. I'd met her twice. She had early-onset dementia. Jake said she'd been getting worse, but I didn't know it was this bad. I didn't know she'd forgotten him. I got back in my car and waited. When Jake came out 20 minutes later, his eyes were red. I let him drive away first, then I followed him home. I was back in bed before he got there. The mattress dipped. He slid back under the covers. I felt him wipe his face on the pillowcase. The next morning at breakfast, I asked him, "Why didn't you tell me?" He looked up from his coffee. "Tell you what? About your mom. About the nights." His face crumbled. He set down his mug. "How did you? I followed you?" He stared at his hands. "Her nurse said she's only lucid between 3 and 3:30 a.m. now. Something about circadian rhythms. It's the only time she knows who I am." His voice cracked. "I didn't want you to see me like this, falling apart every night." I reached across the table and grabbed his hand. "You should have told me." "I know." We sat there in silence. That night, the mattress dipped at 2:51 a.m. I sat up. "I'm coming with you. We've been going together ever since." Some nights she remembers both of us.